There, the tragic figure, everybody, of Shadow. And she's eating a little steenbok. Now, many of you might be asking the question, why does this pillock who's talking to us say that she is tragic? Well, she's tragic, everyone, because she has never raised a cub to independence. And the more we've watched her, the more convinced I've become that she has got a hormonal imbalance, and that she comes into estrus or heat much too soon after she's had a cub, and that causes her to reject the cubs that she's had. And I think that's what the problem is, and there are many who will disagree with me, but I think that's what it is. She does, if in case any of you haven't been watching for long, have one son called Sindile, and Sindile is alive, I believe, only because we took him out of the reserve, or we didn't, but the Sabi San did, because he caught a rabid dog one day, and in order to make sure that he didn't get rabies, he was inoculated and then kept in quarantine for 7 months, I think it was actually. And I think that's the only, he was then re-released, and I think that's the only reason that he is still extant. Anyway, this is the daughter of Karula, who we were looking for earlier, her oldest daughter, at 9 years old. She must be almost 10. I don't know when her birthday is, but one of our viewers who knows these leopards extremely well will tell us when her birthday is. And I know many of you are very thrilled to be seeing her, and I'm rather thrilled too. It's been a long time since I've seen her. Okay, I think let's move around a little bit because she's really not her best angle. What an afternoon. Just beautiful. We've been so lucky. That elephant was quite something. I'm still coming off the high. There we go. How's that, Dave? Is that any good to you? I'll go back a little. There we go. A little bit more. It's a little steenbok, I think. Not a big steenbok. And so roughly the same size as the one that... Okay, Aubrey says there's a better view from just around the other side there. Roughly the same size as the duiker that Karula had earlier. There is some serious camera equipment on the back of that car. I hope there's some award-winning shots being taken there. Hold on, everyone. Dragonflies all over, adding to the wonderful summer atmosphere of the afternoon. Possible storm in the offing. Me making a giant noise with this car. Ba-bang, bang, bing. How's that going, Davy? Is that any good to you? There we are. Alright, there we go. She looks like she's going to be sick. Wonderful. Now, the other reason, everyone, that we think Shadow, well, one of the theories proffered for why she's lost her cubs, is that she doesn't hoist her kills very often, in fact hardly ever. And I don't believe that's got anything to do with it, to be honest. So the theory being that because she doesn't hoist her kills, she comes to feed her cubs on the ground, and that means that they're always at risk from hyenas. Leesley, you're in Ohio wondering about inbreeding and whether I think that's one of her problems. No, I don't think that at all. As far as I'm aware, well, her Sindile's father, we think, was Tingana, or Anderson or Mvula, none of whom are related to her. I think Mvula is very distantly, but very distantly. Then the youngster, or her last cub, who she's just lost about 2 months ago probably, when she started mating with Tingana again, was Tingana's cub, we think. And it could have also been Anderson's, but we're not sure. We only met it twice. I think Jamie saw it once, and Brent saw it the other time. And so I don't think inbreeding's the issue at all, no. I think it's because she comes into estrus so soon after they're born. Although this isn't the best view of a leopard, it is quite an interesting one, isn't it? To see where she's hidden the kill. And I mean, there's no reason at all that she shouldn't take a kill that size into the tree. And she's in good nick, you know, she's in very good condition. And bearing the coat, of course, of this very pale lineage. They're very honey-coloured, these leopards. And by this lineage, of course, I mean Karula's lineage. And in case you are a new viewer, her other sister, or her sister, Tandi, from the same litter, obviously also 9 years old, is lurking about in the eastern regions of our traversing area. Beautiful. And there she's just cutting the skin off the meat there with the carnassial teeth. I think there are a few new viewers, and I always like to say this to people who don't know what a carnassial tooth is. Many of you have a cat or dog at home, and provided it's not going to bite you if you do this, grab it now and peel the back of its lips back, and you'll see how its teeth close over each other. The bottom ones closing over the top ones, under the top ones, like scissors. So they're not flat molars like ours. And again, the ubiquitous flies. If you look in there close, you can see all over the trees there are these beastly flies, and I think that they are the regal blowfly, from what I can tell. They've got those great orange eyes and turquoise starling-coloured bodies. Hello Vicky, you're at work and watching the safari. That's excellent. I always advise people who are at work to watch the safari, especially if you're in a meeting, which is bound not to achieve anything anyway. Just definitely have it on the desk in front of you on your phone and just... Oh no, Vicky, you say, where did we find Shadow? We didn't, unfortunately. Andrew found her. He was just driving up the Triple M break. Now that's the road that leads to Simbambili. So across the road about 30 metres or so is Simbambili. So that's where she is. And she's very close to the northern gate. And I think maybe she's been spending a bit of time on Simbambili, and that's why we haven't been seeing her. But, of course, we haven't been to Arathusa for a while. She's a little bit restless. She keeps looking around, and I suspect she's been eating here for some time. I'm just going to get hold of Ephraim. Now you'll hear the machine gun fire of the photographic crew behind us. It is not, in fact, an invasion from the Zimbabwean army. It is just one camera, at least a vehicle full of cameras. She's heading into Djuma, which is excellent news. I always just feel very sorry for the amount of editing that has to go on after that. Right, let's just get out of the way, yeah. Excellent. She's going straight into Djuma. That's fantastic. Right, while we reposition, let's head back to Christopher. I'm not sure. There's a leaf with some spiders in it and the inimitable shadow as the sun goes down. A fantastic sighting. David and I have been having a marvellous time with her. She's put her kill in a fallen down marula tree over there. We can just have a quick look, Dave. In there, rather pathetic place to put it. I would hardly call it a hoist. In fact, I think a hyena could walk up there in seconds. Anyway, that's where she's put it. She's made a half-hearted attempt. Now she's just sitting there breathing very heavily. She's very full. Are you happy at this angle, David? There's a lot of machine gun fire coming from the other side. Do you think they've got a good picture? You think this is as good as we'll get? David reckons this is as good as we'll get. Yeah, now, we called her little cub Zara, or I did, simply because, of course, we called George and Charlotte. We called Hosan and Shongile George and Charlotte. And Roger, you're wondering if Zara is no longer with us. I don't think Zara is with us. We're 99% sure that that leopard is long dead, I'm afraid, on account of the fact that she was seen mating with Tingana many, many times. She could even be pregnant again. She's not lactating at all. Well, obviously she wouldn't be, because Zara would be 8 months old. And we haven't seen her for, I don't know, what is it, probably 2 or 3 months. So we're pretty sure that Zara is no longer. James, you're wondering about whether or not Shadow has mated with any other males other than Tingana. Not that I know of, James. I don't think she's been seen mating with any other leopards. And it's quite interesting. I think she has, certainly before she had Zara, I think she mated with Anderson and Tingana. Now, the Anderson male, of course, is the biggest male leopard that we get around here. And he has been, he was seen, or he is seen in the far west of Arathusa normally, and so he's kind of, his territory, it's interesting, his territory doesn't actually encompass hers. Her territory is still in Tingana's territory, but it's not unusual for female leopards to go out of their territories in order to try and mate with other male. Now, just take a break from the leopard for me to tell you that on the one vehicle there's probably about, what should we say, $100,000 worth of equipment, of camera equipment. Then on the other vehicle that's come in, I just see somebody there with a tiny little point and shoot camera, and it must make her feel slightly, I guess, one of them is actually using a cell phone, which of course is a wonderful way to take pictures of your safari, unless you're sitting next to somebody with a 600mm lens. I haven't taken my camera out here. I'm too embarrassed. Oh, she's gorgeous. David, I know you like the backlight, but do you want to try the other way? Yeah. Okay. We're going to try and get round the other side, everyone, so we can get her lit by the golden sun. But I quite like the way Davy likes the backlighting, I must say. I think it looks very nice indeed. She will, of course, roll over almost immediately we get to the other side. Watch out there, Dave. We don't have a spare tyre, of course, so we can't really afford to take too many chances. Well, Bethany, you ask a very good question. We'll just stop here and have one. No, we won't. We're going to keep going around. Bethany, you're wondering about whether or not Shadow could be pushed from her territory. Good afternoon. And yes, she could be pushed from her territory. It's unlikely, though. I know that everyone's thinking, where will Shongile set up home when she eventually goes independent? And I think the most unoccupied of her own still. David, again, I must ask you, don't say hi ever. Don't ever do anything for you. Beautiful. Stunning. Magnificent. Now people are staring at me, everybody, because they think I'm mad. They think I'm talking to myself. But I don't mind, everyone, as long as I'm talking to you. You don't think I'm mad, do you? No. Beautiful. Now, Monique, you're in London and wondering whether I think Shadow could be pregnant again. And Monique, I absolutely do, you know. I think, excuse me, I think she could easily be pregnant again. In fact, I think it's quite likely. Oh, this is brilliant. Christopher is having a gem of an afternoon. He's got 2 larger cats, the gangsters of the bush. That's what's going on here, everybody. Miss Shadow, seems to have somehow conjured a light from the heavens. You see that, everyone? It's amazing. It is, of course, a spotlight on her from the vehicle next to us. And I don't think we're going to watch her once the light's faded. I think we'll head on and see what else we can find in the darkness as it falls. She's given us a wonderful time, so I think we'll just probably move out of here in the next 5 minutes or so. I just want to see if she perhaps goes up to fetch her little impala lamb. So just to reconfirm, I don't know if I told you this, but I think the kill that she had is an impala lamb. I don't think it's a steenbok. And I think that because of the colour of the pelage or the fur. And I wonder if she didn't kill the adult and then have that stolen in much the same way that Karula did that a few days back. She's got very lengthy whiskers, you know. And interestingly, how's this? The only other leopard I've seen with whiskers that lengthy are her sons. Sindile has got wonderfully long whiskers like that. Now, just quickly, while I remember, she's a 3-4 female in the same way that her mother is 3-4 female. She's got 3 spots there over the whiskers. Oh, and then 4 on the other side. And Tina, that dovetails nicely with your question about what would happen if the 2 of them met. They do meet from time to time. Last time they met, I think Shadow blew spit bubbles at her mother, which is disgusting, and nobody should ever do that to their mother. But they would have a kind of small territorial spat. It wouldn't be serious. There would be no physical contact, but they'd have a bit of a standoff. Sometimes they'd share a kill, but I think at this stage, you know, it's been so long since Shadow left home, 9 years or so. No, not 9, 7 years or so, that I think it's highly unlikely that they would share a kill at this stage. But it does happen from time to time. And I mean, the best story I've ever heard of a leopardess meeting her daughter was when the 3-4 female of Londolozi met up with a... quickly, sorry, I'll tell you the story later. We've got some unusual canids with Christopher.